Welcome back. So this is just me now trying to uh, do the ball cap method. So I'm using the freezing spray, even freezing spray, just to get that HD cap. So the HD cap is actually the thinner cap, wig caps, right, for when you're installing. It's not too thick, it's very thin, so it's easier to work with. So there, just see me just using the even freezing spray just to frame my head before we cut off the excess of that cap. And yes, I draw the cap down to my eyebrow, down to my eye, because I really want the thinness of it. I want it to stretch that way. That way it's not too thick, and when you cut it, it won't roll back. So this is just me using my fingers just to ensure that it is not spreading down to the face. So I'm just using my fingers just to scoop that in, and then I will go in with the blow dryer on cool hair just to dry. So I want to get this completely dry. I want to do this all around the hairline. At this point, I went for the wig just to have a viewpoint of my wig. So I'm just right now, I'm just putting the wig lace in front of the cap. So you want to put it in front of the cap. So that's where I'm just looking where I'm going to cut out my ear tabs, the excess pieces that will overflow on your hair. So you want to cut it to frame your ear. So right now I am just lining up the wig, and it is very easier doing it on a client or doing it on somebody else. But when you're working, when you're installing on yourself, it is a bit challenge, but we're gonna get this laid. Just have to take your time. If you're doing this at home or you're doing it by yourself, you just have to just take your time. You can't be too hasty. So there you see me, I really wanted like two hands to just hold down the two sides, and then I do the cutting around, but I had to maneuver this myself. So there you see me just pulling out the hair and framing it around my hairs. So I'm just using a small scissors just to cut, and I did not want to cut any I didn't want to cut it bad. I didn't want to cut it raggedy. So that is me. I just wanted it to be neatly fit around the ear. I didn't want to cut off too much either. I want to ensure that, because it's best if you cut and then you can go back in and cut. So there, you know, you see me cutting off a small piece. I cut off a small piece and I fit it right around my ear. Right. So I'm going over to the next side and I'm just repeating the same step. The excess that overflow on my hairs, I'm just cutting that around and taking off the excess. Taking off the excess off the sides. Right, so you want to be patient with this, and of course after cutting off the excess, what you will notice is that the ear, when you're combing out the ear, when you're brushing the ear, you'll experience some shedding, because of course you cut the hair, so those sharp pieces going to leave some flyaways, they're going to leave some shedding. So at that point I was just fitting on, ensuring that it's fit on before I roll back. So yeah, I'm just spinning by the ear, getting the excess ear out of the way, because right now we're focusing on getting the lace laid. So I want to get the lace laid. So you see me going over time and time again to ensure that it is fit, which I think I could have drawn it down some more and cut off some more, but this is me putting the blow dryer, just holding it up, just lead it up to just blow, so I can use both my two hands. Right, so you guys can see how the ball cap method works fine. So this is me just getting ready. At this point, I'm showing you the E-bin spray, and this is the E-bin adhesive spray now. So first we use the freezing spray, but this is the adhesive spray. But what I can tell you, ensure that you place this directly on your skin, directly in the front of the cap, because if you do place it on the cap, you will experience some shifting, because I did went ahead and use alcohol to clean up my hairline, but then after I went in with this, I realized that the cap was shifting. Right, so even though I freeze it down in the freezing point, it was still shifting. So I would say do it in front of the cap and not directly on the cap. If you're working with a lace glue that dries clear, you can go ahead and put some on the cap, but as for the spray, it will only wet the front of the cap, and then you'll find that it is sliding back. So at one point I was using the alcohol just to clean up the excess from coming down onto my forehead, onto my eyes. So I was just cleaning away the excess right here and just allowing. At this point, the blow dryer was still on cool and it was still blowing. As you can see, the air is still blowing, right, to get that dry. If you look immediately at the front right there, you could see that the cap is sliding back. But at this point, I just went ahead with the tail comb, the rat tail comb, and I just bring it forward and press. So bring forward and press down, and as you can see, each time I take it up, you could see the stickiness. So that way I know that that layer of the adhesive was already drying. So I went ahead and I did I think another or two other layers, but I'm just ensuring that the cap is tucked down right there, because you don't want that to show underneath your installation. So at this point, I was not spraying it directly to my hairline. I just applied to the tail end of the comb, and then I just applied directly to where I wanted it, realizing that it is slipping back the cap. So I just went ahead and put it directly where I want it by using my finger just to pat, just to press. So at this point I went ahead with the hairband to just straighten out that. As you could see, if I had some help, I would all down the two sides, straighten it out before I put on the band. But I just went straight ahead and just use my hand to straighten out that part, ensure that that part is not wrinkled, and then I apply the band to just hold it down for 10 minutes. So at this point you can see when I remove the hairband as I removed the hairband, I was just lifting up the excess lace off my skin and just using a eyebrow razor just to remove the excess. I use this because it's a bit jaggedy, because you don't want that to be straight across. So I use this. At this point I had already gone in with the hot comb to flatten out the front. So now I'm just cutting off the excess lace. So I'm lifting some as near as possible to my hairline, and then I'm cutting off the excess lace. So after removing the excess lace, I went ahead and part out where I want the baby ear to be, and I had applied some melting spray to the front of the hair to melt, and then I went ahead back with the hairband just to hold down that while I prepare the curls. So I'm just using a curl activator. This is the soft and free curl activator, just to mousse down the curl. So I went ahead with the curl activator, and then I used the olive oil with coconut oil inside of it, mousse to just apply to the ear, and yeah, it turned out very well. So at this point it's just me using my finger just to finger comb, and this is where I went in with the mousse. So I apply a generous amount. So wherever the hot comb stop, where I flatten, I just went ahead with mousse and just use finger comb it, and then I crimp it with just scrunch the ear with my hand, with the palm of my hand, yeah, and the curl get right back intact. So I forgot to mention, this is a 13 by 6 deep wave